Yes.
Always forget. Okay, now we're recording. Yay. So we had a really productive meeting this morning. I'm going to introduce you to our staff who are on the call here today, and Paul and Ellie are going to talk to you a little bit, as well as Sue, our new CEO. And then at the end, we'll kind of take your questions. Since it's a smaller group, I think actually I'm going to ask you all, for the sake of Sue especially, maybe you could go around and I'll call on you and you can kind of tell me what day you generally work and your name. So Jan, would you mind starting us off?
Sure. I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday.
All right. And Jan, you've been with us less than a year, right?
Correct.
Or has it been a year? Okay.
No, I think I started in April.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah, Jan is one who came in and just jumped right in. She's amazing.
Way to go, Jan.
Yeah. How about you, Stephanie?
Oh, normally I go down Saturday morning, and I cannot go every Saturday, but I try my best to get there as much as I can.
Excellent. And how long
Thank
have you
you.
been with the
Awesome.
pantry, Stephanie?
The other day I got an email, I've been there for 20 years.
Yeah, I thought.
That flies by just like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew you've been with us for a while. Thank you.
Yes.
Fran.
I'm actually in the pantry on Tuesday. I do the inventory, so I pick up paperwork and bring it home. And then I put in hours throughout the week, just kind of whenever I feel like it, updating the spreadsheets and that kind of thing. And right now learning a new tool.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I've been volunteering at the pantry for well over 20 years.
Wow. Wonderful.
Thank you, Fran. Rick, the man I oriented on Zoom, and I've only seen you on Zoom meetings. You've been in the pantry, but somehow I keep missing you.
Yeah, I'm coming up on a year. I think in December I started. Work as my schedule allows. Virtual pantry usually. Did some envelope stuffing a week or so ago. So
You did, yes.
yeah.
And I missed you for that too. I was like, Rick.
Well, I'm in and out.
You guys need to go out for coffee or something, just so you can actually see each other in person.
Each other in person,
There we
yes.
go. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rick.
Sure.
Jill?
Hi, I've been at the pantry for about a year now, and I usually come Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday morning. I like to do the virtual pick and pack. So I enjoy it.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Jill.
Mhm.
And Toby, are you able to talk? Or are you?
Hi, I can jump off. I'm kind of doing double duty here with work, but
I
I've been at the
figured.
pantry now 2 years, it looks like, as of this Thanksgiving. And I pick up some of the driving shifts on Saturday as needed, anytime during the week that we do the offsite as available, very limited at this point. We're kind of around the family schedule as well. We still have kids in school that need rides and activities and sports and things like that. So I'm trying to get involved as much as I can where I can.
You sure do,
Appreciate
Toby. You're
that.
awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate it. You too.
That's a good can-do
Esmeralda?
attitude. Whenever I
He
can.
has a good, he does. He is amazing.
Mhm.
All right, Esmeralda.
Hi, everyone. I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary, I think, any day now. And I regularly go to the New Hope Baptist Church that first Tuesday of the month. And then at the pantry, I'm all over the place. So I've done virtual. I kind of wait for Colleen to send the Sunday email, and then I see where need is. And I'm either at the pantry restocking, or virtual packing, or wherever, stuffing envelopes. So I'm a little bit all over the place.
A Jill
You
of all
are.
trades.
She is. She's great.
I love that. Thank you.
And then Laura.
Hello, it's Laura Nudo. And I will be there for, I believe it's a year next month. I've been in the virtual pantry pretty much the entire time, along with doing some admin work also. And I was pretty steady 2 days a week, and then summer came and my schedule changed, but I am back on the schedule as of next month. So I'm looking forward to getting back into a regular schedule.
That's awesome. We love having you, Laura, that's for sure.
Thank you.
All right, without further ado, I am going to introduce Sue Armato, who is our new CEO at the pantry. Go ahead, take it away, Sue.
All right, take it away. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to meet all of you and just to thank you right now for all the incredible work you've done, whether it's been 20 plus years or a year. It's just absolutely amazing that you've chosen this pantry to give your time to. We really just could not do it without you, without our volunteers. And I can't even give the number right now. How many hours is it every year, Colleen? Like some massive number of hours. But really the pantry wouldn't happen without you. And I hope you really know that we consider you a part of our family here and are just extremely grateful for everything that you do. So I'm really happy to meet you. I hope some of you might be able to come to our State of the Pantry the end of the month and be in person and see all the neat stuff. But it's neat to hear all the different things that you're working on. It's whether it's the paperwork, which is critical, or it's stocking shelves, or it's delivering things, or working, in the in-person pantry. It's all remarkable. So thank you.
Yeah, and I think
Thank
to
you,
echo,
Sue.
oh, sorry, Colleen.
Sorry, no, I was on mute. I apologize.
And then I think just to echo what Sue was saying, right? It's just amazing to see and all the different ways that you're able to that you engage in the pantry and utilizing all of your different skills and all your different backgrounds to serve, whether it's remotely, in virtual, at the store, using those talents that you have, whether it's you're bilingual, you have a computer background, you have other skills that you're bringing to this work. It's really great. In all the ways that you touch the pantry and all the ways that you're working with us to fulfill our mission, I'm sure things that you've seen or maybe you've heard. Right now, it's a moment in time, but it's definitely a very challenging moment in time for us. We are living in what some of my peers say is like the perfect storm, right? Our numbers are way up. When I came here a year ago, a busy week was about 250 households across all of the distribution channels, and now we're at 620 plus every week when you count the store and virtual and our school pantry at Irene King. All of them are up, and I know that I don't have to tell you because all of you see it. You see the amount of food that we're bringing in and that we're purchasing. I know, Fran, you've seen those numbers, and it's, wow, it's a semi plus every week. And Fran, just so you know, Ellie has added a truck on Friday. So if you see a lot more nifty reports, yep, that's what's happening. First one just came today. So we're really excited about that. But in addition, right, our costs are going up and the product availability is smaller as well. What I was telling the morning group was when I came here, Ellie had probably 10 pages at least of product to offer or order from the food bank. And now a good week might be maybe six pages of product. And it's more expensive. She ran some numbers for me and she said, those staples like canned fruits and vegetables, rice, those types of things, the top 8, each one of those is over $20 a case at this point. So for us, we order, to be able to serve everyone, we're ordering 40 plus cases. So that's over $2,000 just in that, just for those top 8 items, not including milk, eggs, and those types of things. So it's a lot. And then also on the other side, right, as the longer the challenges of rising prices and those types of things are impacting all of us, our donation, or how do I put this? Our sources of revenue are down as well. And so really it's a real challenging time for us. I want to emphasize, right? We've been through tough times before. This is a moment in time in the history of the pantry. This is what it's going to be. But I also wanted to share with you what are some things that we're doing on our end to address these issues that we see, we've heard, and we're trying to respond to. So like I mentioned, Ellie has reached out to the food bank, for example, to set up a second delivery for us so that we're able to get not only more of the product that we need, but also more of the fresh produce that our customers are asking for. And all of that is free. So that this way, by getting that second delivery, our Tuesday shoppers, our shoppers on virtual are going to have more options available to them. The shoppers at Iron King will also potentially have more options available to them. So we're really trying to address those issues. Other things that we've heard and changes that we've made, we took a look at who our donation partners are, because when we sign up and partner with a store, we have certain expectations for them. We want them to be able to be sending us product that we can actually use and our shoppers can use. When we don't get that, we work with the stores directly, or we work through the food bank to try and address those issues. But we get to a point, right, where it's like, it's not really working for us. We dropped Caputos in Addison. We did that, I think about a month ago or so, we dropped them. And we did that because really, we were probably saving maybe 10 or 20% of what they were sending us. We were throwing out the rest. And even that 10 or 20%, maybe that lasts maybe a day or two. It's not even enough time, even if I give it out the same day, it's just not enough time for people to bring it home and actually use it. That's a lot of produce though that we're saying no to. So what are we doing to replace it? We signed up with a company called Imperfect Produce, where they're a donation partner. We've been going bi-weekly. We're going to switch that over to weekly. Every Wednesday we go and pick up. It's a higher grade of produce. There's a lot less culling and a lot less sorting. Pretty much instead of maybe 10% of it that we're keeping, we might throw out maybe less than 5% of that total. It's better for our volunteers. It's more respectful of their time, but it also allows us to get better product to our customers that they can use for an extended period of time and not have to worry about, ooh, I don't know. I like, West Suburban, they're really nice, but that product, maybe not so much. And also it helps to address that question or that issue that, we may have seen where people say, I got to be the first one in line. If I'm not one of the first 10, that quality really starts to diminish, or the product availability starts to diminish. Those are important things for us. We also, I also wanted us to look at big picture. We're a big player in the DuPage County and even in Will County. We're a very big pantry in that sense. And we have partners and partnerships that we can form in order to do a little bit of collective buying. One of the ways that we're doing that, right now I'm working with a company called Star Foods, and I'm working with Loaves and Fishes and some of the other larger players in the field in this space to say, can we get a truckload of chicken delivered? We split the shipping costs. It's a lower price point for us, but we're able to consistently provide chicken or proteins that people want and are asking for, but maybe the food bank doesn't have as much of or enough of, or it's a higher price point for us. We can do that and really help not just the customers we serve, but also the other partner agencies in the county as well to do that. That's a lot of talking on my part. So I'm going to pause here and see, are there questions, concerns, anything that you may have, you're like, wow, didn't know that. This is where everyone's like, hey, everything's as clear as possible. Great.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on your volunteer experience that you want to share? Like anything we can be doing to make it easier for you to volunteer? Anything there? This is really kind of like a chance for you to share with us your experience and how we can, be better and more appreciative of the work that the volunteer work you're doing for us.
So I noticed that now people can come back once a week to grocery, and I'm surprised at how much they get. I see the same people because I only go on Saturday. So sometimes I see the same family every Saturday, and I'm kind of, how many of you? I mean, they pick up a shopping cart full of stuff, and sometimes I think we have limitation for the drinks and some items, and they don't pay attention. So sometimes I got to be the bad guy to tell them, Oh, sweet. You know, I got so I don't know. I don't know if anybody have the same feeling as I do. Then I feel like our patrons, some of them are taking advantage of the pantry more than they can use. And, you know, I try to have the benefit of doubt, but I just feel like, I don't know. They feel the same as I do.
Stephanie, thank you for that. I know that this same sentiment was raised this morning, and Ellie, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I also want to invite you as well. If you have comments about this particular situation, I know you had this come up as well when you've been over at the store. So you want to comment on that?
Yes, thanks for your comment. It's one that I hear from volunteers, and it's something that I've had experience with working at other pantries as well in my previous roles. So one of the things that we are talking about as our pantry is that we always want to provide to our shoppers, right? And there are some things that we are needing to limit. We've been working with Sam, so he is our new pantry coordinator, and he is doing some great work with communications, getting signs together so they're more uniform, and then also putting together some tools where staff can document things, because we're rotating product, right? As Paul said, our product is being limited, so sometimes we may switch what we have out on the floor. We might do kidney beans until we run out of kidney beans, and then we'll switch to pinto beans. So there's different tricks like that we will implement to help encourage the product to last longer through the rest of the day without having to put a limit sign up. Another piece that we are going to really use and encourage is our online system, so that our volunteers don't have to be the ones to enforce that limit. The system can do that. So when people shop online, there's a system set in place for how much you can order based on when you're ordering. So then you can order every day if you want, and that system will automatically cap what we have on hand. So those items that are more costly for our pantry at this time, you'll see more on our virtual pantry, and we're going to encourage our shoppers to use our virtual pantry so that they can get those really good items and get what they need for their household, but so that we don't have to put a limit on every item in the pantry shelf. So that's some of the ways that we are using our resources and our tools to help do that, because we know that's a really tricky, it's a difficult place to be, and we don't want our volunteers to have to be in that space trying to, enforce those limits. So those are a couple of the ways that we're helping to navigate
that. Welcome to Bob Rogers. I see you just joined us.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Bob, we're introducing Sue, our new CEO, and I'll let her say hi to you, but can you tell the group how long you've been with the pantry and what you usually do?
I don't know, have an exact date, but it's got to be somewhere around 14 to 15 years. For the most part, the first 8 or 9 was using usually the van, sometimes the big truck to pick up at the grocery stores. I had the Thursday routine at Jewel, Aldi's, Target for a number of years. Lately, I had a little heart condition while going to Jewel and picking up 9 boxes of frozen turkeys and carrying them from the freezer to the cart, from the cart to the truck, into the truck, out of the truck, and my chest was hurting. And within an hour, I was at the hospital, and an hour later, I failed a stress test. But I just had a couple of stents put in, and the recovery was very good. And I'm taking it a little easier now.
And
Good.
your version
Glad
of
to hear
taking
that.
it easier is not super easy. I mean, he's here a couple times a week for sure. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
Bob. Sue, do you want to say hi and then we'll get back to questions?
Yeah, hi, Bob. I'm really glad you took good care of yourself, and when you were feeling that, went right away to get that checked out, and really glad that you're taking care of yourself. And please put yourself above coming here. When you're ready, we'll be ready to welcome you back with more time, but your health is the most important thing to all of us. So thank you, Bob.
For sure. So we've got
I
a
wanted
couple
to-
questions. Oh, sorry, Sue, go for it.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I was going to comment on the monetary donation. If someone else wants to, that's fine. But
No, I was going to read the
think-
question, so thank you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You want to read it and then I'll.
So the question in the chat is, do monetary donations go farther when sent to the pantry or Northern Illinois Food Bank?
Yeah, I guess I would say to that you're doing two different things, right? With the Northern Illinois Food Bank, when you send it to them, they're able to put that in their big pot and purchase more things than for us to be able to go and purchase it from them. So I think it's kind of like, what are you hoping to get from that donation? Of course, I would say, Laura, that when you give that money directly to us, we're able to then take that and buy a lot of food, right? That's, what is it? We get $6 worth of food for every $1 given to us. And then we're able to really take that and leverage that money that's donated to us, purchase from the Northern Food Bank, getting things specifically that we know that our community members and our neighbors need in order to, to survive and to have hopefully a healthy life. So I would just give you the reassurance that when giving it to the pantry here, that we're very, very good financial stewards, and we make sure that we take care of really taking care of our community. And I think that's, to me personally, one of the things that's most special about this pantry is that it isn't just going out to some place somewhere. It's everything that, like, I personally give to the pantry, I know is going to take care of my fellow community members. So I don't know if that helps, but.
And then I've got another question here. When a special campaign is going on, like a match donation, is it possible to let us know of the result when it's over?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm wondering how many, well, two things. One, we can absolutely do that. And I believe that on Facebook, we post on Facebook almost weekly, I think, kind of where the campaign is at. So if you're not if you do Facebook, please go like our page, because you would be getting all of that. But I'm sure in Colleen's amazing, wonderful, the emails that you sent out, we could add that in there, right? It's great that you want to know that.
100%.
Yeah, this particular meal match has been great, and people have really rallied around it, and we've already like hit our goal on that, and I think we have a few days left to go. So we were really excited to see so many people want to help us out with that match to accomplish that. But you're right, I think it's really important that people, when they help out, to know, did I make it? Did I make a difference? So we'll be sure to kind of add that in the emails, I think.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns, additions of things that we could be doing to make your experience at the pantry more worthwhile, more efficient?
And I love that you're putting questions in the chat, so feel free to keep doing that. And I would also ask that, I mean, we want you to feel really appreciated. We really know that you choosing to help us out, of giving your time. I think time is the most precious commodity or item that any of us have to give, right? Because we don't always have a lot of it. So the fact that you choose to come here in whatever way you come is such an extraordinary gift, and is transformational in the lives that you're touching. And I know all of us really hope that you know how much we appreciate you, whether it's whenever you can fit it in your schedule, or if you're here 3 times a week. We need all of that, and every single one of you is important to us. So do you feel like that we really value and appreciate you, Could we be doing a better job on that? Are you feeling good with that? You could even type it in the box. You can do, you know, on the bottom, there's the reaction, click the reaction, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a whatever, but help us know about that. All right, good. We got a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, Fran, for, oh, thank you, Laura. It's okay if you're not a thumbs up, because this is all about us wanting to be as good, good partners with you and supportive of you as possible.
Hey, Sue and Kelly, I was going to say, I'd seen several activities or events that you've held over the past year or so. I think that's, for me anyway, more than enough. I've not been able to attend them, but I know that they're there if the opportunity arises. So for me, that's good. I was going to say, I know that on Saturdays, which is when I'm probably most often the pantry, it's a bit hectic. And with the reorganization, there's been some bins in the stack area, which I think are great because we can preload the bins in the back, bring them out ready to go and spend less time on the floor. And what I've seen, if anything, would be that with the chaos on Saturdays, just so many people involved from the client and the volunteer side. If there's a way to reduce the amount of people on the floor as far as foot traffic goes, that's probably for the best. Yeah, if there's any way to preload things or just have a couple runners back and forth.
Yeah, Toby, I appreciate that that feedback. And yes, we are working towards, I know Sam is actively working towards being able to get carts preloaded with product that we know is going to move, so that, you know, we don't have as many people kind of on the floor with carts, kind of slowing things down. And then also with regards to the Saturday, the amount of traffic, you know, our numbers are up across the board. One thing that we've also done is we're starting Saturday distributions earlier. We're going at 7:45 versus 8:15. And the feedback that we've gotten, it's a very limited. We've done it for 2 Saturdays in a row now, and the feedback we've gotten from our customers is how much they appreciate it, but also equally important, volunteers who are normally working there. And Stephanie, if you've been here the last 2 Saturdays, you can check me on this because I wasn't here, but it's just what I've heard is that there was a 9:30 kind of catch your breath moment. It was probably really quick, but it did happen, and that we weren't having shoppers and volunteers here as long past the 11:30, 12:30, where it was really starting to become an issue with people, with both groups either waiting or having to stay to serve as well.
That's great. Your point, Paul. I think with experience, everybody understands that's involved, that things that do move quicker than others that need to be replenished more often. The green beans don't go quite as fast as the gummy treats, but they do move eventually.
Yeah, that's right. It's amazing. And other things, you know, just so we're talking about the us getting to know our shoppers better, their habits and what's happening. One thing that we're looking at is bringing in a system, a program that where our customer database and our virtual pantry and our inventory, like those 3 pieces, are actually able to communicate with each other so that we have a better idea of who actually is shopping on Saturday mornings versus Thursday evenings and that type of thing. And then we can be even more precise in terms of preloading and what are we offering when, so that we're meeting their needs, but also that we're making sure that, you know, that restocking time is really valued. We're putting out the product that people really are looking for and really want. That's our goal. One of our goals, I should say, with this is really to try and make it easier for our shoppers, allow us to continue to grow, but also make it easier for all of you and everyone else who's volunteering with us.
Yeah, all great things. Thank you for all that you do. And I like your background, Paul. That's great.
You know, one of the things that always bothers me is the amount of food that we have to throw away. And I wonder, you know, sometimes I know the product comes in and it isn't going to last very long. As Paul said, you know, like bananas, celery, carrots, all the fresh foods that we get and can't either, I don't know if we can't turn it over quick enough, if we don't celebrate or notify the families, hey, this is a special today. You can have more than 1 stalk of celery, take 3 if you want it. Just to see more of that getting used versus ending up having to throw it away because it's spoiled.
Yeah, Jen, that's a really important point, and that's something that we're also really troubled by, right? Like, we don't want to be, our job is to be distributing fresh product out to our customers. We're not a garbage disposal service, and we want to move away from being that. So a couple of things that we're doing to try and address that. Meal kits, we're trying to, some of the products that we may have an excess amount, we're working with the University of Illinois Extension to create meal kits, and also, and you'll hear, they're going to be doing a Zoom for us next week, I believe it is, where they're going to talk about like some of the signage and things that they can do to help us when we have product that, maybe is slow moving, or we have a lot of it and we need to move through it so that we can do a better job of that. Other things that we're excited about with our new system that we're hoping to be able to put in place is when we have a lot of celery, let's say, for example, which we had, or a lot of carrots, for example, to be able to put those on our virtual site and send it out to all of our virtual shoppers so that they know it's kind of like a special, right? Hey, we have carrots or we have celery, that we think is going to be good for the next week. Please make sure you add that to your cart, to do also what you're talking about in the store as well, where, we're letting shoppers know, whether they're shopping in person or on virtual, that we have the product, and that please feel free to order more of it. And looking at what are some ways that they can store it so that it doesn't just wind up in their house and then they're doing the same thing we're doing sometimes, which is basically turning it around and putting it in the trash. Sam, who Colleen mentioned, and I think many, if not most, or all of you have met at this point, is working on communication tools. And one of those is posting like what our limits should be so that the volunteers are clear and at the source, so that everybody's consistent. Because sometimes when we change shifts, it can be hard to make sure to remember to say, hey, Paul, don't forget the limit on celery is 4. And I think, oh, well, that's always 1. And then we think we're giving 4, but we're really only giving 1 for a period of time. So making sure that those things happen as well.
One of the other things I know has happened is if we put a product in the refrigerator, like we had apples and I think we had celery in there, and they're limiting everybody to 2 items in the refrigerator, and celery or something that we have an abundance of is in there, I think that makes it very confusing as well. We have some out on the floor that anybody can take, and then we have some in the refrigerator. Yeah, it's confusing.
You're right. That's also, yes, you're definitely right. It is confusing for our shoppers, which isn't something that we ever want to do. And I know that Ellie and Sam are working on that. They have on this, I wish I had a picture of it, on the side of the fridge, we've developed basically a planogram that so in the morning we can map out exactly what should be going where, so that we avoid these situations where we have, a limit in one section, but all of a sudden it's somewhere else and there isn't a limit, and it gets really confusing. Like you said, it should be consistent. It needs to be for our shoppers. There's a question from Stephanie about, or a comment actually about butter, and I'm happy to report, Stephanie, that we do have butter. We got lots of butter in on Wednesday. That's something that we were very excited about. There was a grant available through the food bank, and so we were able to purchase lots of butter. So when you come on Saturday, I guess tomorrow, right? When you come on tomorrow, if you come tomorrow, you will see butter, and you will be happy to be able to pass that out. Yes, and that's right. And Fran, thank you very much for reminding us that, in fact, we do have organic bins that are out in the garbage corral. You'll see them, they're the blue bins that we bring in, and we try to do a good job in terms of separating bread and produce into separate bins, but that does go and get composted and it's turned into animal feed. So we are trying to do our part to not fill up more landfills as well.
All right, any
Can I
other?
ask you, Paul? I was going to say,
Yes.
from the meeting earlier today, any feedback, or on the second question, I guess, would be anything that us as volunteers can do differently or better to help the pantry, other than volunteer? It's always hard to get volunteers to volunteer, right?
I think I may invite my boss, because she had an excellent answer in terms of that question, in terms of reconnecting and leveraging the connections that our volunteers have within the community. So I'll turn it over to Sue for a moment.
Yeah, we think now that we're kind of figuring out how to manage with COVID and all of that, we really, really think it's important for us to try to start to reconnect with a lot of the people in the networks and the social clubs and the Rotaries and things like that. So that's an effort we're going to start doing ourselves. But what we're hoping that you can help us with is if you're a part of any of those type of groups, whether you're a part of, like I said, like a Rotary, or maybe you're part of a reading group, or maybe you're, serve on some little board at your school or something, invite us to come, right? Invite us to come and talk about the pantry and what we do. And we're not going to come in and like beg people for money. That's not what it's about. It's about being an ambassador and saying, like, do you know that we're this great resource right here in your community that's taking care of your neighbors and strengthening and building this community to make it even better than what it already is. And that there are ways that you can help us out. And one of the ways is to become a volunteer, or to help, with a food drive, or to go to your business and tell your business about us so that maybe they would want to get involved. It's just about, we can go to a lot of places, but if you all can be like the gatekeepers, or the people who are the entree to other groups that you're a part of, all of a sudden that they'll really want to hear from us and listen to us, because you give us that credibility, right? So if you're in any of those type of groups, please let us know. And then we'll work with you to figure out when's a good time to go. But I know everyone's excited to get back into like sharing the amazing story of what the pantry is and what we do, and how our mission is really embedded in, nourishing not only people's bodies, but also their spirits, and how we what's really apparent to me is that we don't just give food to people, we give people a sense of that they're an important person, and that when they come here, that we see them, we see who they are. And that can be very impactful on someone who already is struggling so much. So I think that's a great story about the pantry, and wonderful why we are who we are. And so if you can help us get that word out, that'd be fantastic.
So I did want to share a little bit of good news with you, some exciting news, actually. We applied for and received the DuPage County Transformational Grant, which we are extremely excited about. It's a 2-year grant. What we are going to use it for, a couple things. And actually, I feel remiss in not letting you know that Kristen is also on the call with us, and I'm not sure if she's by her computer or not.
I'm here.
Kristen.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. So for those of you who don't know, Kristen is the Director of Support Services, and she's also a major part of this transformational grant. And so, Kristen, I'm sorry, I don't want to put you on the spot, but maybe you can talk about a little bit about the Catholic Charities Connection and the translation services piece of it. And then I'd be happy to talk about the other half of it.
Sure. We are partnering with Catholic Charities on this grant. Catholic Charities in Downers Grove, DuPage County. Paul will kind of speak to the virtual partnership that we're going to have with them, the virtual food pantry part of it. But they also have an immigrant support program. So we're going to be working with a worker from that program to host education for staff volunteers, our customers, and also have all of our material translated into, different languages or the primary languages that we're seeing from our customers, to be able to, better serve them, make sure they, feel comfortable and can understand when they're coming to shop, any forms they're filling out or the product that we're offering them and whatnot. And then they're going to be playing a big role in some of our online ordering.
Yes. Thanks, Kristen. Appreciate that.
Mhm.
So we have a partnership with DoorDash. We've had it for a few months now, and that has taken off like really well. Just in general, the DoorDash program, anyone who lives within 10 miles of our pantry, we can, and places an order on our virtual food pantry, we can have those groceries delivered to their door for free. There's no tip involved. There's no charge involved. It's done by DoorDash. So it's really an exciting program that really helps to address some barriers and also remove some of the stigma, because, my neighbors just see a DoorDash driver. They don't know what it is. It could be my dinner for tonight. They don't know that I'm going to the pantry. We wanted to also, for us, it's really important for us to continue to think of ways where we can meet people where they are and make it even more convenient and less stigmatizing and easier for them. So part of what we're going to do is roll out our own version of kind of like Amazon lockers. And the first one is going to go at the Catholic Charities location in Downers Grove. It's going to be refrigerated, and it's also going to have a kiosk attached to it, so that if you don't have your phone, if you're not sure, like, hey, I don't have a smartphone, how can I use this? There'll be a kiosk attached to it. So you'll be able to go ahead and place your order directly on the kiosk. You'll be able to order your groceries online. We pick and pack it here. DoorDash delivers it to the locker, and you can pick it up when it's convenient for you. We are really excited about this. The Downers Grove location is the first one in our pilot, and then based on the feedback and what we find, our plan is to continue to expand that out. So over time, we hope that you're going to see DoorDash. Our plan is that you will see, our lockers in common places where people gather, whether it's the laundromat, schools, parks, churches. We can see it really expanding our reach and our ability to serve more communities and more people in a way that we feel still maintains that dignity that's really important, but is also respectful of the lives that our customers are leading.
I just got to say, I am so excited about that. I just think that's going to be transformational for some of our clients and customers that we serve, because some people have different hours that they work, so maybe they can't get here. Maybe they're not comfortable with a stranger, even a DoorDash stranger coming to the house, and it's like just going to the Amazon kiosk and picking up your food, but instead you'll go and pick up groceries, and no stigma, very easy. And I think it's really great that we're gonna, and this is the other thing that is amazing about this pantry that you are connected to, is that we're really about innovation around how can we better serve the customers that we serve. And I think that's super special about the pantry. And I know Paul and his team work very hard to be innovative and try to eliminate whatever barriers we can, so that anybody who needs food and the other resources we provide can actually get to them. So I'm really, really excited about that, and really happy we got this big old grant.
Thanks, Sue. I wanted to just open it up again and see if there were any other questions or comments, anything that we didn't address.
Just a quick question. I was actually trying to go to the website to check on something real quick. Are you expecting your website to be down right now for maintenance? If not, it is.
No. Uh-oh.
At least from my end.
That's going to be a call to WebEd right after this call. What happened to our site? Thank you for that.
Actually, just a few minutes ago, it just went down, so hopefully it'll come right back up.
Yeah.
You're right. I see it on my end too, Toby. Thanks.
Okay,
Okay.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
so I
Toby.
guess around, because I haven't familiarized myself with some of the other services that the clients get as far as education, or maybe even helping support them for, utilities, other things like that in the community that maybe they can reach out to. Can you maybe just speak to that briefly?
Ooh, I can.
I was saying, Kristen, you want to take that one? That was
Sure.
like a perfect pass, perfect football pass to you. Thank you, Toby.
Yeah, I caught it. I'm
quarterback.
going. I'm going.
got it.
Yeah. So, we offer assistance with SNAP applications, which is also the food stamps, link cards, and the LIHEAP applications, which is utility bill assistance. We're also a referring partner to other organizations in the area that require like formal referrals, such as Sharing Connections, which is a furniture bank, Repeat Boutique, which is clothing, Hope's Front Door, assists with gas cards and like prescriptions. We also partner with more experts in areas to offer education classes for our customers. So we offer monthly health classes with Cigna. We do nutrition classes with U of I Extension, job support with Goodwill Workforce Connection Center. We also have a kiosk from Work Not DuPage in our intake waiting area. I know that's not a class, but just other job support. And then US Bank is providing some financial wellness classes monthly as well. So we are, addressing our neighbors with with food. So their bellies are full, but they're also visiting us for, financial, like limited financial or economic reasons and stuff. So we're trying to address that by offering some of these, like, I guess, quote unquote, wraparound services to, help address other areas that they might be needing. We're kind of, the next couple of years, our focus is really to enhance this side of the mission. So Sue and I are working on those plans now, and so stay tuned.
Thanks, Kristen. Greatly appreciated.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I think you can tell it's a very exciting time at the pantry, even though we are in a perfect storm of difficulties and challenges. There's also great opportunity and growth that we're taking. We're not letting those challenges take our spirit away from wanting to do the best that we can. And I think that that's something that you can feel good about, that you are, again, like giving your time to an organization that is continually evolving and improving and advancing how we can really support our customers, not only in the sense of nutrition, but also and how can we improve their overall quality of life beyond just that basic human need of food. So we love sharing these things that we're doing because we're very excited, and we hope it excites you and makes you be like, yes, I love what I do at the pantry. It's really a great place that I'm a part of. So we hope you feel that.
Thanks, Sue. I think if there are no other comments, I think that might be the right kind of closing message for us. So I do, I think on behalf of all the staff here, I really do echo that sense of like gratefulness for, like, again, all the time and the talents and what you bring, and really the experience that our volunteers have, or our customers have, is really driven by the work that each of you do, whether you're customer facing or not, whether you are, helping us to make sure our numbers are correct, you're picking up donations, you are, stepping forward and saying, yes, I'll help at an offsite, you're helping in the store, you're helping in virtual, and all the ways that you are helping us. We are very grateful and really couldn't do this without you. It inspires, I think, each of us to continue on the journey, to continue to push forward and innovate and say, what else can we do? Where else can we go? Because we have the confidence in what you're able to bring to the table to help all of us and, to serve even during these very difficult times. Don't know if Colleen or Kristen want to add anything in closing.
I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for being on. I'm going to share this link in my Sunday newsletter. Want to reiterate Sue's invitation on October 26th for the State of the Pantry. It's an open house from 5:30 to 7. We'd like you to stop by if you have the time. That would be fantastic. We also have some prep shifts that we've added called open house prep the week, Monday, Tuesday, and then during the day on Wednesday, if you'd like to help us with some special projects to get the pantry spick and span for Wednesday night. And then also I have created, or we as a pantry have created a brand new Facebook group for volunteers only. And the QR code is by the desk. I'll send a link in this weekend's newsletter, but I would encourage you, it's volunteers only, and you can post pictures or stories about your experiences at the pantry. And you can, I'll also post pictures and updates and whatnot. If you are not on Facebook, we will not be posting anything that like you'll miss out on like important information. That's always going to be in the Sunday emails. This is just for fun if you want to participate. Totally up to you. All right, without further ado, I think I'm going to wrap up. I appreciate you all giving us a Friday afternoon of your time, and we look forward to seeing everybody at the pantry, some of you sooner rather than later. Take care, everybody.
Great weekend.
Bye now. Thank you.
Thanks.
Everyone.
Thank you.